New at noon, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is declaring a state of emergency in the aftermath of Tuesday's tragic plane crash at the Muhammad Ali International Airport in Louisville. At least 9 people were killed when a UPS plane crashed on takeoff. Governor Beshear says the number could go up as search and rescue efforts continue today. In addition to declaring a state of emergency, the governor is authorizing the use of the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund to help those directly impacted by this crash.
The first thing that we pay for out of these funds are funerals, so that in a time of grief, nobody is worried about that. In Kentucky, we grieve together and we support one another.
Beshear says 2 businesses took a direct hit from the plane. However, he says things could have been worse, noting the plane missed a Ford factory and convention center near the airport. Tom Hansen is in Louisville with more about the plane crash and investigation into what happened.
Horrifying footage shows the moment UPS Flight 2976 en route to Honolulu, Hawaii takes off Tuesday. Its left wing engulfed in flames. Seconds later, the cargo plane comes crashing down, erupting into a massive ball of fire. Officials say there were 3 crew members on board. And this dashcam video taken near several businesses shows the plane tilted on its left side, skidding across the ground, a fiery trail following behind. The sheer scale of the devastation was immense as firefighters worked to contain the fast-growing inferno, which ripped through an industrial area south of the airport and grew to the size of a city block.
This is an all-hands-on-deck response.
Kentucky's governor later confirmed the plane was full of about 38,000 gallons of fuel and smashed into at least 2 businesses, a waste management company and an auto parts store.
There was no specifically hazardous cargo on board of the plane that would create an environmental issue for those around the site, but the impact and where it impacted could create those types of situations.
CBS News aviation expert Captain Laura Einsettler.
The question will be for the investigators, what type of maintenance was being done on that left engine beforehand, in the hours beforehand, what type of maintenance history there was.
Now, the UPS facility here is called Worldport. UPS is actually the largest employer in the Louisville metro area with more than 20,000 workers. The company issuing a statement, I want to read it in part. They say they are working with state and local authorities on response efforts, and they halted package sorting operations here last night. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Louisville, Kentucky.
Governor Beshear says he'll be back in Louisville to tour that damage. He and the city's mayor are expected to hold a joint news conference later today.